Once upon a time, there lived a young fellow named Jack. He resided with his mother on a tiny patch of farmland, nestled at the foot of the fog-capped mountains. Jack and his mother had little to their names. Their only source of income came from selling the milk of their one cow, Bessie. One chilly morning, before dawn broke, Jack's mother shook him awake. The stars were still twinkling in the sky. Her eyes were red from crying. "Jack, get up. You must go to the market today and sell Bessie." "But why?" Jack mumbled, half asleep. "We need money to repair our home. There are holes in the ceiling, the window panes are shattered, and heaven help us, we don't even have a front door anymore. Winter is almost here. If we don't fix this house, the cold will surely be the end of us." Jack packed a small satchel and brought Bessie out from the barn. As he stepped through the front gate, he heard his mother call out to him, "She's worth no less than 5 gold coins. Promise me you won't let her go for anything less." While Jack was walking along the dusty path to the town square, he encountered an elderly stranger by the roadside. "Top of the morning, lad," said the man with a smile. "Where are you headed on this fine day?" "Good morning, sir," Jack replied politely. "I'm off to sell our cow, Bessie, at the marketplace." "She is a splendid animal," the man said thoughtfully. "I'd like to buy her, and I'll offer you a trade like no other." "How much will you give me?" "I won't accept under 5 gold coins," said Jack. "I don't have 5 coins," whispered the man, leaning closer. "But I do have these 5 midnight-colored beans. They're no ordinary beans, they're enchanted, far more valuable than any amount of gold. If you take these, I promise you'll have more wealth than the richest king in all the land." Jack imagined his mother smiling again. He thought of the warm, repaired house they could live in, a roof with no holes, new glass windows, even a proper door. Perhaps they could buy 2 cows. "All right," Jack said, holding out his hand. "You've got a deal. Let me have the beans." He dashed home, thrilled with the trade. He burst through the front door and showed the beans to his mother. But instead of delight, she was furious. "You foolish child! You gave away our only cow for beans!" She snatched them and threw them right out the window. Then she collapsed into a chair beside the fireplace and wept bitterly. Jack felt crushed. He shut the door to his room and lay in bed. He had ruined everything. They had no cow now, no food, no money, nothing but 5 worthless beans. He felt ashamed, angry, and heartbroken. But the next morning, as sunlight broke through the window, Jack saw something odd. In the very spot where the beans had landed, a gigantic green stalk had sprouted. It towered from the ground straight up into the sky, disappearing into the clouds. "The beans truly were magic," Jack whispered. "The old man was telling the truth." His mother was still fast asleep, so Jack made a bold decision. He would climb the beanstalk and seek the treasures the old man had spoken of. "If I can just find 5 gold coins," Jack thought, "I can fix the roof, the windows, and the door." So up he climbed, higher and higher, through mist and cloud, into the heavens. When he finally reached the top, his stomach growled with hunger. In the distance, he saw a massive fortress. "Maybe there's food inside," he thought. He knocked on the towering front door. Knock, knock. A giantess opened it. She was enormous, taller than a barn, but she had kind eyes and a welcoming smile. "Pardon me, Lady Giant," Jack said politely. "Would you mind giving me something to eat? I'm terribly hungry." "Oh, poor dear," said the giantess gently. "You look like you haven't had a proper meal in days. Come in, come in." She gave Jack a steaming bowl of vegetable soup. He was enjoying it so much, he didn't notice when the table began to quake. Thump, thump, thump. Heavy footsteps boomed through the castle. "Oh, heavens!" the giantess whispered in fear. "That's my husband. He's home from work. Quick, child, hide. He detests humans." Jack dove into the pantry and held his breath. The giant barged into the kitchen, sniffing the air. Fee-fo-fum! Ah, my beautiful wife! Wait, do I smell a human? Ugh! Where is he? Good evening, my sweet, said the giantess. There's no one here but me. You're only smelling the soup I made for you. The giant grumbled. I can't stand the stench of people. He slumped into a giant-sized chair and emptied a leather pouch onto the table. 5 shining gold coins spilled out. He began to count them. Jack watched silently from his hiding place. If I could take just those coins, he thought, I could fix the house and make my mother happy again. When the giants left the room, Jack sneaked out, took the coins, and slipped away. This is all I need, he whispered. But then he remembered. Without Bessie, they had no milk, no food. What good was gold if they starved? He decided to stay a bit longer. He crept after the giant into the parlor, hiding beneath the couch. The giant walked to a shelf and pulled out a golden hen. My lovely hen, he said cheerfully. Lay an egg for me, please. And the hen laid a solid golden egg. Jack's eyes gleamed. A hen that lays golden eggs, he whispered. If I had her, I could buy dozens of cows. When the room was empty again, Jack tiptoed to the shelf, took the hen, and placed her in his bag. This is all I need, he whispered once more. But he remembered the old man's promise. Riches beyond imagining. Surely there was more. He followed the giant into the bedchamber, hiding under the massive bed. There stood a beautiful harp made of gold in the corner. Sing for me, harp, the giant said, and the harp began to play a melody, all on its own. Jack was amazed. A harp that sings by itself! I'd be famous! When the giant fell asleep, Jack crawled out and grabbed the harp. But the harp cried out, Help! A human is taking me! The giant jolted awake. Stop, thief! He roared. He chased Jack, through the bedroom, down the hall, into the kitchen, and out the front door. But Jack was quick on his feet. He raced to the beanstalk and climbed down as fast as he could, the harp, hen, and coins all strapped to his back. The giant reached the top of the beanstalk and stared down. He didn't like heights, but he started climbing slowly. Be careful, husband, called the giantess from the clouds. Humans are tricky. Jack hit the ground, running. He sprinted into the house, grabbed a sharp axe, and began chopping the stalk. Chop! 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 The beanstalk cracked, and with a mighty snap, it collapsed. The giant came plummeting down from the sky. He landed far away, beyond the fog-capped mountains. Boom! Everything went quiet. Then, faintly in the distance, Jack heard a terrible wail. No! With the beanstalk destroyed, the giant had no way back to his sky home. Above the clouds, the giantess sobbed. Her tears fell down as gentle rain, watering the earth. From that day on, Jack and his mother lived in great comfort. The golden hen made them rich. The singing harp brought them fame. Jack married a wealthy, well-known woman and had 10 children. But happiness never truly returned to Jack's heart. Every time the wind howled, he heard the giant crying out for his wife. Every time it rained, he felt the sorrow of the lonely giantess. Years passed. Jack grew old. One stormy evening, he opened a wooden box above the hearth. Inside was a shriveled, wrinkled bean, the last of the 5. If I can find the giant, Jack thought, I'll plant this bean and grow a new stalk. Then he can climb home. Then I can say sorry. He packed a bag and ventured into the misty hills beyond the mountains. Did Jack find the giant again? Did he plant the final bean? No one truly knows. But some say, if you listen closely during a thunderstorm, you can hear the deep, joyful rumble of 2 giants dancing in the sky.